of Vardaman. Then I begin to run. I run toward the back and come to the edge of the porch and stop. Then I begin to cry. I can feel where the fish was in the dust. It is cut up into pieces of not fish now, not blood on my hands and overalls. Then it wasn't so. It hadn't happened, and now she's getting so far ahead I cannot catch her. The trees look like chickens when they ruffle out into the cool dust on the hot days. If I jump off the porch, I will be where the fish was. And it all cut up into not fish now. I can hear the bed in her face and them, and I can feel the floor shake when he walks on it. That came and did it. That came and did it when she was all right, but he came and did it. The fat son of a bitch. I jump from the porch running. The top of the barn comes swooping up out of the twilight. If I jump, I can go through it like the pink lady in the circus into the warm smelling without having to wait. My hands grab at the bushes beneath my feet. The rocks and dirt go rubbling down. Then I can breathe again in the warm smelling. I enter the stall trying to touch him, and then I can cry. Then I vomit the crying. As soon as he gets through kicking, I can, and then I can't cry. The crying can. He killed her. He killed her. The life in him runs under the skin, under my hand, running through the splotches, smelling up into my nose where the sickness is beginning to cry, vomiting the crying, and then I can breathe, vomiting it. It makes a lot of noise. I can smell the life running up from under my hands, up my arms, and then I can leave the stall. I cannot find it in the dark along the dust, the walls, I cannot find it. The crying makes a lot of noise. I wish it wouldn't make so much noise. Then I find it in the wagon shed in the dust, and I run across the lot and into the road, the stick jouncing on my shoulder. Jouncing, Jouncing. I went, accidentally touched some tumbleweed, and I got spikes on my finger, like little, Alright, so they watch me as I run up, beginning to jerk back, their eyes rolling, snorting, jerking back on the hitch rein. I strike. I can hear the stick striking. I can see it hitting their heads, the breast yoke, missing altogether sometimes as they rear and plunge, but I am glad. You killed my ma. The stick breaks. They rearing and snorting, their feet popping loud on the ground, loud because it is going to rain, and the air is empty for the rain, but it is still long enough. I run this way and that as they rear and jerk at the hitch rein, striking. You killed her. I strike at them, striking, they wheeling in a long lunge, the buggy wheeling onto two wheels and motionless like it is nailed to the ground, and the horses motionless like they are nailed by the hind feet to the center of a whirling plate. I run in the dust. I cannot see, running in the sucking dust where the buggy vanishes tilted on two wheels. I strike, the stick hitting into the ground, bouncing, striking into the dust and then into the air again, and the dust sucking on down the road faster than if a car was in it. And then I can cry, looking at the stick. It is broken down to my hand, no longer than stove wood. That was a long stick. I throw it away and I can cry. It does not make so much noise now. The cow was standing in the barn door chewing. When she sees me come into the lot, she lows. She lows, her mouth full of flopping green, her tongue flopping. I ain't a-going to milk you. I ain't going to do nothing for them. I hear her turn when I pass. When I turn, she is just behind me with her sweet, hot, hard breath. Didn't I tell you I wouldn't? She nudges me, snuffing. The moans deep inside, her mouth closed. I jerk my hand, cursing her like Jewel does. Get now. I stoop my hand to the ground and run at her. She jumps back and swirls away and stops, watching me. She moans. She goes onto the path and stands there looking up the path. It is dark in the barn, warm, smelling, silent. I can cry quietly watching the top of the hill. Cash comes to the hill, limping where he fell off of the church. He looks down at the spring, then up the road and back toward the barn. He comes down the path stiffly and looks at the broken hitch rein and at the dust in the road and then up the road where the dust is gone. I hope they've got clean past tolls by now. I so hope it. Sorry guys. Cash turns and limps up the path. Dern him, I showed him. Dern him. Dern him, I showed him. Dern him. I am not crying now. I am not anything. Dewey Dow comes to the hill and calls me. Vardaman, I am not anything. I am quiet. You, Vardaman. I can cry quiet now, feeling and hearing my tears. Then Hit want. Hit hadn't happened then. Hit was a laying right there on the ground, and now she getting ready to cook it. It is dark. I can hear wood, silence. I know them, but not living sounds, not even him. It's as though the dark were resolving him out of this integrity. It was as if the dark were resolving him out of his integrity into a to an unrelated scattering of components, snuffings and stampings, smells of cooling flesh and ammoniac hair, A-M-M-O-N-I-A-C, ammoniac hair, an illusion of a coordinated whole of splotched hide, and strong bones within which detached and secret and familiar, and is different from my is, and is different than, and is different from my is. I see him dissolve, legs, a rolling eye, a gouty splotching like cold flames, and float upon the dark and fading solution, all one yet neither, all either yet none. I can see hearing coil toward him, caressing, shaping his heart shape, fetlock, hip, shoulder, and head, smell and sound. I'm not afraid. Cooked in it, cooked in it. So I wonder, like, he's taking it kind of hard, you know? He's saying, you guys killed my mom. But I think he's like the littlest boy, probably the littlest, most innocent boy. Vardaman. It's a funny name. Peace.